Weekly, here we go. We're back. Joe Tilley, longtime CTV Toronto broadcaster, and of course, with me is the founder and president of the 3HL, Justin Fox. Justin, it's great to have 3-on-3 hockey coming back, and it's going to be coming back in a big way. Let's talk about some of the similarities, first of all, between 3HL hockey and some other sports.
So I mean, obviously, we're using the 3-on-3, the exciting, fast-paced, end-to-end, hockey, and everything that you see on the NHL overtime and whatnot. So you've got 3-on-3, you've got no penalties, so it's penalty shot with chasers. You got no offsides. A lot of fun, exciting things. The goalies are going to play the puck kind of like a lacrosse type rule. But one of the things that I think is kind of unique to the 3HL is not only the format on the ice, but also the format of the entire league and how we're structuring things. So one of the things that we kind of look at, and being a sports fan, I look at probably my favorite sporting event is March Madness, right? And this kind of you've got 64 teams down to one winner. They do it over a 3-4 week period, and it's sort of a win and move on, lose and you go home, right? So it's do or die kind of every single game. And so the 3HL is going to bring that same intensity every single week. We'll talk about the other sport that I think it's very similar to as well. But every single week we're going to bring a collection of teams. So initially, it might be 8, might be 16. Ultimately, our goal is to get to 64 teams every single week showing up on Friday, and over a 3-day period, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, those 64 teams playing, a 15-minute game, 3 5-minute periods. You'll go from one winner to can't even speak. 64 teams to one winner, right? So you've got, each team, every single game is playing essentially to go to the next round. So you'll go Friday, Saturday, Sunday, one winner, and then you'll have a cash purse and on Sunday, and every game they win, they will earn a portion of said cash purse. So obviously, as we grow, as the league grows, as the league expands, that cash purse will grow. The on-ice play will grow, and it'll be this kind of evolving organic growth of the league, but super exciting for fans. So you've got, on Friday morning, you're going to have 64 teams representing 64 cities or communities, across the way, all competing for one win, like one spot or one, all competing to win that event or that week.
It'll be like Wimbledon, like you start with 6,428 players and you got to win and you move on. Then you got to get to the 32, you win, you move on. You get to the 16, you win, you move on to the Elite 8, then you make the Final 4, and then there's, then there's 2, and then there's one winner. So it's pretty exciting stuff. I mean, you've got an exceptionally exciting brand of hockey, 3-on-3. We all love 3-on-3 hockey. We all love it when a game's tied after regulation in the NHL today, so we could watch some 3-on-3 hockey. It's the best. It really is. It's the open ice. It's a lot of fun. Tell us about some other sports that there's similarities to.
So I think, I kind of alluded to it there. Obviously, you've got the 64 team March Madness, 64 teams, one winner, do or die. The other aspect is the concept of the tour, right? So it's sort of like you talk about Wimbledon. So you've got, I would say the ATP tour.
Right.
Is it APT?
WTA and ATP. Yeah.
ATP, right? So similar to that, you've got the PGA Tour, right, where you've got every week, a hundred, few hundred in some instances, golfers show up on Thursday, and you've got one winner on Sunday, and they kind of pare it down usually on Saturday. But that's kind of the same style. We're going to be a tour every week. We'll roll into town. 64 teams will show up. As I said, on Friday, we'll probably do some events, maybe pro-ams and different things like that on the Thursday night. Have some fun kind of, fan engagement, different things that'll happen. But typically the league will roll in, the tour will roll in to town on Friday. Games will start sort of Friday morning, play all the way through to Sunday afternoon, where a winner will be crowned. And as I said, there's a cash purse similar to, a lot of these tour style or tournament style events where each week they're vying for that cash purse, that jumbo check, and if anyone watched the original version of the 3HL, we did it in a much smaller context. We had 1 day event with 8 teams, but it went from 8 teams to 1 winner, and then the big check was presented. So it's going to be pretty exciting to have this kind of traveling roadshow circus kind of showing up to each town, often in places where pro hockey, pro sports don't show up. So it'll be exciting to see these communities kind of be able to kind of come in and watch pro hockey at its finest, 3-on-3 pro hockey at its finest in their hometown. So it'll be super exciting, and we'll build kind of a community atmosphere around it. I many years ago I worked kind of in the hospitality industry on the PGA Tour, and you look at sort of the Canadian Open, right? It's this whole event. You've got everything kind of, they show up, whether it was at Angus Glen or Glen Abbey or wherever it was. You had this entire kind of community coming together for that, those few days, 4 or 5 days. In the case of the Canadian Open, it's almost a whole week event, and then they go to the next venue and the next venue. So there'll be a lot of opportunity to sort of shine a light on these local communities where that host these events, that host the 3HL Tour events, right? And sort of have their local sponsorship, local partnerships, local businesses really can be brought, or a light can be shone on them. So it'll be super exciting to have that tour style event where we go week to week across the 33-week season to various locations, primarily across Ontario, maybe into Quebec, maybe into northeastern US, sort of in year 1. And then as we expand, obviously, it'll start to grow. But that is really sort of emulating the PGA Tour, that model of and we talked about the ATP as well. Combined with the March Madness, combined with the 3-on-3 hockey, combined with the fact that the community will own these teams through the crypto stocks that will be minted, again, powered by backers. It's super exciting to sort of see where all of this can lead to.
So, the circus is coming to town. Unlike the PGA Tour, the Canadian Open, where you get it once a year, it comes to Canada. Unlike, in March Madness, it's a once a year event. This is going to be something that's going to be happening multiple times in a year. The circus could be coming to your town. Tell us, if I want the circus to come to my town, if I want to be part of the 3HL, I want to put my town on the map, if you will. How do we go about doing that?
So yeah, I mean, obviously our tagline, you can see it sort of right here. It's coming to a city near you, right? So that's the tagline. But I guess there's 2 ways. So one is obviously you've got the venues or the locations. So we're going to be rolling out sort of like, I would say, it's not the Olympics, but almost like a bidding opportunity for local communities to bid to host a 3HL Tour event. So that's one aspect. The other side is obviously we're now putting a call out to owners or ownership groups or potential ownership groups to step up, throw their name in the hat to become a 3HL team representative, and essentially to allow them to put together their own 3HL team representing their own community, their own town, their own city. So, wherever that is, primarily, as I said, we're looking at sort of the Ontario region, Quebec, a little bit into northeastern US. So if you are a community in one of those locations that would like to host a 3-on-3 professional hockey or 3HL Tour event, you can definitely reach out to us. We're going to be posting some things on the website as well. If you want to basically own and operate and facilitate your own community, having a team on the 3HL Tour, one of the 64 teams, be sure again to also check out 3hltour.com. Drop us a line. You can hit me up on LinkedIn. Justin at 3hltour.com is my email. Be sure to reach out and connect if you are interested in being a team owner, and we can then go down that path and get you on as a team owner. So huge opportunity for local community organizers, local business owners, local sports and hockey fans to step up and really own and operate their own professional sports franchise and or host a 3-on-3 3HL Tour event in their community.
So it's Justin at 3hl.com.
Justin at 3hltour.com.
Sure, 3hltour.com, or go to the website, 3hltour.com.
Yes,
and so,
exactly.
You talked about the ways to get involved as a community. Maybe local politicians will want to, get the word out there. Get on your community social media sites, start spreading the word out. You could drive yourself toward, acquiring a team by getting some community support. You can, move towards getting a team by, deciding you want to step up as an owner, or step up with a few partners in terms of ownership. There's a lot of ways to get this thing going, but ultimately, what are we going to see happening next year, Justin?
So right now, as we said, we're kind of gearing up or ramping up. March 3rd is coming up, which we've coined. This will be actually the third year we'll be celebrating 3-on-3 Hockey Day, which is March 3rd. So be sure to get ready for that. You're going to start to see some content, behind the scenes. Joe, you and I, obviously, and some of the other people are starting to build out some of what that is going to look like. But essentially, it's going to be a 33-week season, starting in sort of late summer, early fall. You're going to start to see some events and different things happening July, August into September, with the season going throughout the winter months into sort of springtime, with the Champions Cup being in the spring. So there's a huge opportunity. We'll start with whatever number of teams we have. Ideally, obviously, it's going to be minimum of 8. I think we've got close to 8 now committed. We're likely going to start with, in between 8 and 16, and we'll just keep growing. And teams can join at any time, right? It's similar, again, sort of to the PGA Tour. If you play an event, you have an opportunity to earn some of that purse and to build points towards the Champions Cup for that final ranking or that final standing. So, we could, in theory, start with 8 or 12 or 16 teams in week 1, and by the end of the year, we could have, up to that 64 team, which is the ultimate goal. Long term, I see there being an opportunity to have maybe, similar to the PGA Tour, more than 64 teams, where only the top or certain teams are invited to every tournament. So there becomes this almost like competition within the competition to actually just even be a part of each of the events. Again, Tiger Woods gets an invitation every week, but some of the PGA Tour pros aren't playing every single week. So there's definitely going to be this, I think, a grassroots, community-driven, really community-driven and kind of community-growing opportunity where we will be able to go from venue to venue to venue, like a traveling circus, a traveling roadshow, 3-day event, and so many communities will be represented. Let's try a different one. Stratford. We always talk about Leamington, but the Stratfords or the Cornwalls, Bowmanville, right? Halliburton, the Scarboroughs, the
right.
Barries, the Londons, Oshawa, right? They'll all be represented in these events, and so it'll be really, I think it'll be the first of its kind, so unique in many ways. Not only is the 3-on-3 super exciting, but also the event and the style and everything that will lead into it will be super engaging, super exciting for the community hosting as well as everyone watching. So exciting to see it kind of finally come to fruition. I know, the first go round was kind of halted and unfortunately cut short, but now that we have the funding mechanisms and some of these things that will make it a much more longer lasting endeavor, it's super exciting to see where we can take this. And the sky's the limit. We talk about now all these communities, but you could have literally global cities represented almost in a global event, a series of events, right? In 8 to 10 years from now, I see that's right. Where I see it going. People think I'm crazy, but hey, you got to be crazy to make things happen.
You know what? Well, it all starts with a dream, and this is a dream that's becoming a reality. And it's like I could see that happening at a regional level, then moving on to a national level, then moving on to an international level. There's no reason to think that the 3HL can't be something that's global and huge. And let's face it, we all love 3-on-3 hockey. Who doesn't? It's the most exciting brand of hockey there is. And you want to bring a team to your community. go to 3hltour.com, drop Justin a line at justin@3hltour.com, and we'll get things happening.
Awesome. And Joe, again, back in when are you back from Mexico? Not that you want to come back anytime soon.
I'm going to be back at. Still got 2 months to go. I got to tough it out here for another 2 months. Justin.
Yeah,
end of March I'll be back. But
must be tough.
You know what? You got to do what you got to do.
Yeah.
For the team.
I think next week we're going to have two new guests, which would be cool. So I'll throw that out there. Just working on a couple guests, but any final words, or where do we want to go?
Well, my final thoughts: if you're in a community and you want to put your community on the map, whether you're a local politician, whether you're a guy who cares about your community, look into the 3hltour.com, because there's an opportunity to make things happen, because this is going to be big. Get on the ground floor. The sooner you get in, the sooner you get your community up and running, the better chance you have of hosting a 3HL Tour event. So get after it.
Awesome. Cool. Joe, I appreciate it.
No problem, buddy. All right.
Everyone else, thank you. Thanks for joining. Thank you for joining 3HL Weekly. We will be back again next week. As I said, we've got some special guests that we'll be bringing in, talking about a couple things. Actually, I think we have one of the owners, the new owners, is going to be stepping up and joining us next week. So it'll be pretty exciting, and we'll go from there. And Joe, enjoy Mexico. I will be, we'll see you again. It's nice and cold here, but everyone else, take care. Enjoy your afternoon.
All right. See you soon.